Hello everyone, today we are just waiting for things to activate on certain websites revolving around Waking Titan, but I have had a thought. I haven't actually seen a guide introducing people to what Waking Titan is. So here we go, this is the full-length preview, well not preview, this is a full-length guide to what Waking Titan is. So, enjoy. So as I've just previously said, this guide is aimed at those who are either clueless on what the hell is going on, who kind of just want a refresher of the things going on, because there has been so many progressions within the last 2 days, I've even lost track. So first off, I'm just going to say that a lot of this information is from the Game Detective Wiki and the No Man's Sky subreddit. They will both play a huge part in this video, so a huge thanks to them. So Waking Titan is an augmented reality game. This basically means that there will be an interactive narrative-based story that uses the real world as a platform and delivers a story which can be altered and solved by players' actions or ideas. Waking Titan includes websites, phone numbers, radio stations, and many for real life things. Waking Titan has also included a live drop of a package, many NPC actors, and other events. We still have no idea what the story behind all this is, but we do know that it is somehow connected to No Man's Sky. So, on May the 27th, a Twitter account called ARGN tweeted out a link to projectwt.com. At this time, it had 60 different radio stations, but 4 were dubbed as active. If you click on a location, it'll basically tell you the radio station and the location, and you can listen to the songs they play if you really want to. Now, it is worth noting that currently the first clue that was hidden in the website is sort of a release date for the official website, and basically it said June 8th. On June the 2nd, a new radio station popped up, which was in Moscow. According to players, the radio station was corrupted, and the radio station was not called Moscow, it was basically a string of letters and numbers. Now, this string was actually a paste bin link, and if you put this into Google and then searched it, it gave the following message: info@wakingtitan.com, and then it just showed XXXXXXX, that's where your phone number goes, and then it said you have until June the 3rd, 6 o'clock UTC. This then prompted an influx of players to enter their phone number into info@wakingtitan. If you entered a valid phone number, you would receive this voice clip as a call.
Is Waking Titan. He arose, and on the stars, lifted his curved lids, and kept them wide.
The second line is a verse from the poem Hyperion. Players then used this as a password, but they still didn't have a username for the official website. One player received a different call, which sounded something like this.
This is Waking Titan. Username Waking Titan.
This then gave a username and password to activate the current website, wakingtitan.com. Now that we had access to the site, it basically looked like what you see on the screen now, but it had a lot less detailed. It had one glyph at the bottom and one sigil, which is the triangles. Anyway, the PDF which was on the glyph basically showed a bit called Current Footprint, and showed a site called forums.etarc.org, which is a forum for radio enthusiasts. This website is now the hub for interacting with anyone interested in Waking Titan. It's also worth noting that the password for this glyph is Orion, O-R-I-O-N. So if you've followed so far, I really can't thank you enough, because there is a lot more to go, so you better get way into your chair. So on June 8th, a radio broadcast was played which said this.
We are the mystery hiding in plain sight. You will find us. This broadcast is the first clue.
Now at around 3 o'clock that day, the first sigil or triangle was opened up and basically gave players the opportunity to solve the first puzzle. Now in the background of a sigil, a video is playing which basically showed Roman numerals and division puzzle. It reads 240 divided by 15, which gives the answer 16, which is the answer to the triangle. Now the second glyph at the bottom is where No Man's Sky came into play. By clicking on the second glyph, it hints towards a live drop in a cafe in New York at 7 PM. A Discord user then went to the cafe and received this note along with strings of letters and numbers. If you decoded the string of numbers, it gave No Man's Sky coordinates. A user then travelled to the coordinates and found a communication station. It gave a password 97C-303N-5884 P. Now this is where I'm going to talk about No Man's Sky tapes and how they relate into this, because I think this is the best opportunity to do it. So at the start of the June the 1st, moderators of No Man's Sky the game, No Man's Sky Portals and No Man's Sky Galactic Hub received tapes in the mail. Each tape was labelled out of 16 and had 2 sides to it. The first side was music from 65 Days of Static, and it was sort of like 16-bit, and honestly you can just look online and listen to them, but the songs are Red Parallax, Supermoon and End of a World Sun. Looking at the second type, it gave a lot of static noise, but if you ran the tapes into a spectrogram, we can see the strings of numbers and letters, which is 706S, 727, 4616P. Now, if you decoded this through Rotate 13, it gave a string of hexadecimal numbers, which then decoded gave the word portals. It's also worth noting that one of the tapes came with a poster which said, "The giant gateway calls out to me, filling my mind with whispered secrets of a far-flung world." This is a game which references portals, but is not used. This is the reason people are really leading to believe that portals will be activated within the next update. Anyway, we're going to get back to Waking Titan. So on the 10th of June, a radio ad was played which sounded exactly like this.
I lost my grandmother, Emma, 2 years ago. She was 85. I miss her so much. But now, thanks to Echo software, I can hear her voice back just using a sample from an old home movie.
Are you filming this, honey?
I can make her say what makes me feel close to her again, like,
I love you, honey, and I'm leaving you all my jewelry.
thanks to Echo software, everybody's voice can be anybody's. Visit echo-64.com.
This then gave players access to the website Echo-64, which was a fully functioning corporate website for the ARG. People then began to realise that Echo is a company that basically gives life to dead relatives for a short 5-minute clip. On the page there is a bunch of symbols which had a few glitches in them. You have to click them in order of angle, which basically means the one with no angle goes first, which is a circle, and the one with the most angles goes at the back. This gave the phrase, "This breaks white into 7. Now if we go back to a WakingTitan.com page and enter in the word prism into the second triangle, we get access to the second sigil. Moving on to the 17th of June now, on Well FM, another advertisement was played which read the following message.
Because of our recent discoveries in the fields of magnetic and geophysical anomalies, Multiverse Technologies is now hiring. If you or someone you know have research experience in the fields of radiation belts, computationalism, magnetic fields, or simply quantum electrodynamics, we will consider your application. If you have what it takes to break the laws of physics, contact us now at multiverse-75.com.
This gave players access to multiverse-75.com. Now, much like Echo-64, it's a fully fledged website. However, there's a lot more interesting points on this website. So if you emailed info@multiverse-75, you would receive a response which read, "Specific expertise detected. Input desired branch of mathematics in subject line to info@multiverse.75.com," and then it basically showed a bunch of X's where you're meant to enter it. So if you email back with this subject line of algebraic topology, you would receive another message. Now it's worth noting that algebraic topology is the type of math that is used by abelian groups, which is mentioned in the phone call if you called the number on the Multiverse website. The email response read this: "Input, valid candidate in algebraic topology, executing process postbox, ... process complete. Warning, confirmation is required. Do you want to trigger the mailing of package #9 out of 16? Confirm in subject line with code ID 817IDAS to info@multiverse-75.com. If you replied with the subject line of 817DAS, you would receive this message in response. Package 9 out of 16 has been sent. Please stand by. ETA week of June 19th. And then it just shows a bit.ly link. Now this is what basically triggered the whole relationship to No Man's Sky, because this sent out a cassette tape which all the No Man's Sky moderators had previously received, but I will get into that a tiny little bit later. The bit.ly link was a PDF file which was a memo from Elizabeth Layton, the head of the Atlas Foundation. I'm going to be talking about the characters involved later. The third glyph was solved by the following message. In the background of it, it basically showed another video, which was sticky notes and letters. If you followed a path which gave the code OBAFGKM, you would find that this is a system for spectral classification of stars. Spectral was the answer for the glyph. Now the triangle was a little bit trickier to solve. On the Multiverse website there was 3 employees with a sort of glitching effect to it. You can see it now if you go on the website. Importing these images into Photoshop allowed this person to see that there was a distortion effect in the clothing, which gave 2 letters of Morse code in each image. This then decoded had the word scales, which was the answer to the sigil or triangle as it's called. This gave players a notification to wait until the 24th of June. Now on the 21st of June, our good friend Cobra TV received a cassette tape 9 out of 16, which was triggered through the emails on Multiverse. This package included merchandise and everything else which was included in the other tapes, except from one distinct feature, which the cassette tape had a case around it which basically had the Atlas logo, which was one of the companies in Waking Titan. This proved the connection between Waking Titan and No Man's Sky for a lot of players. It's worth noting that the audio in this tape was a hell of a lot different to the other ones. It had spoken word, which I'm now going to play for you now.
I am alone in this space between worlds. I am alone but for my thoughts, my words. I am alone but for you. I see you. You must have known I could. You must have known what this was. Through these travels we come to know ourselves, just as the universe comes to know us in turn. I cannot step through. I know now that if I do, all of this will be over. Lives come back to me. I have seen horrors and wonders. I have been cruel. I have become good and evil. I have grown beyond all such things, life after life. And now I am becoming you. One day, your voice will speak to you, telling you of something, some signal that needs answering. Will tell you of some secret at the heart of reality. Some puzzle that needs to be solved to bless all life falls into decay and oblivion. Do not listen to it. If all the world is a lie, then nothing is true, not even an explanation. Abandon it. Abandon me. It is inevitable.
Now, this is more lore-based and didn't hold any secrets apart from literally the entire thing. Some players have speculated it's portals, others think it's the Atlas itself. But again, I'm not going to go into it in more detail in this video. If you want to know any more theory-based stuff, go into the previous videos. I'm literally just going to tell you what is going on in Waking Titan if you still have no idea what all this crap is about. So the second side of Cobra TV's tape had a lot of noise just like the first one, but in each part there was different MIDI notes hidden inside the spectrogram. A user got the MIDI notes and translated them into alphabet based on their positions, which gave the word journey. Journey was rotated 13 spaces and then gave the word WBHEARL, which is the password for glyph number 4. On the June 24th, an advert for Myriad was played. The following is the advert played on the radio station.
If you believe the sky's the limit, you have it wrong. The government is the limit. We are Myriad. We specialize in open source micro-satellite ventures, and we think the sky should belong to everyone. With over 37 safe launch stations around the world, we enable a constellation of possibilities, making the world a better place. It's time to launch a new era of regulations regarding microsatellites. Make your voice heard at myriad-70.com.
It's worth noting that a sigil had literally just been unlocked, which led players to a page called Myriad-70/status. It had a bunch of elements to explore, such as a network report, a solar shield status, how many units have been deployed, the network speed, backup nodes, Jesus, there's just so much stuff, and the current satellite launches. The network report held an interesting secret. It showed a link which said Mercury process running, and it had a voting mechanism. You were not told what numbers to vote for, but users voted for 80 as it is the atomic number for Mercury. This then triggered 80 random users who were signed up to the mailing list to receive a key for No Man's Sky, and this is 100% correct. They received a legit game key for No Man's Sky. I'm going to tell you how to update like the mailing list near the end of this video, but for now, let's just talk about what's going on with Waking Titan. It's worth noting that there's two more processes, so we are actually 1 out of 3, so it looks like 2 more votes could occur before the 1st of July. So basically get signed on the mailing list. The 4th sigil triangle was solved by looking at the progress bar on the status page, which held a download. When the first download completed, we were shown this screen. Using the 017/A24 part of the client, we found a new web page which asked for a password. Using Havelius and Sue's song, which were the clues, it showed the word star chart as a password because of their work in star charts. It then gave us this PDF document which is on the screen. About 2 hours after the first completion, a second progress bar completed which required another password. Using the same part as the other time, basically looking at the numbers, we gave another website which then asked us to look at the NASA's archive page for ships. If you put in the code 32272, you'll find a mission called STS-210 Shuttle Satellite. This was a mission by Discovery which was the password, so the password for this bit is Discovery. We then got another PDF document with a very distorted image at the bottom which is currently being decoded. Now on the PDF there was a bunch of numbers at the top in the subject line, and on the first PDF it was 313 and on the second one it was 98176. If you combine these together and put this code into the 4th triangle, it then gave us access and told us to wait until July the 1st. The 5th glyph at the bottom of the site was involved by looking at the chart on the status page which held a bunch of 3-digit numbers and letters. Now as each person voted, another a letter opened up with 3 different digits, so the more votes happened, the more letters opened up, and then it finally completed. So if you emailed sales@myriad-70, it gave a message to respond which triggered people to reply with nocturne@myriad-70, which answered with JJ Wong. If you email JJ Wong, it will give you a message which says, "I've looked up and down the Sonic Bridge, but 3 of my favourite things are still missing, xxxxxx@myriad-70.com. We then got another email with strings of numbers which translated down from decimal gave the string Do 116, Me 707, and Sol 811. On the bottom of each email is a reference number which was basically in the same layout as the Do, Me and Sol bit, which if you combine this and used the table to find which number corresponded to each letter, you would find that the answer for the glyph is Bolzano. That is Bolzano. And that is completely up to date as of today. We are awaiting a lot of stuff to happen, and there are still 8 tapes still to be sent out, which you can probably expect hopefully within the next 2 weeks. I'm now going to talk about some of the characters involved and how you can basically sign up to the mailing list. So the current main character, as it seems, is Elizabeth Layton. She's the CEO of the fictional Atlas Foundation. There are a multitude of videos which show her asking for help and other things such as looking for people with expertise. She was also a sender and receiver of multiple memos, which we see as PDF documents. Her current business with us, the players, is completely unknown. The next character is Sophie Dubois. Her character is vague and seems to be an advisor to Elizabeth, as she seems to be sending the first set of PDF documents that we find. We literally don't know who she is or what her current status is within the ARG. All we know is that it seems to be her advisor. Now the websites also play a huge part to understanding the lore. For example, Echo-64 is a website to essentially revive dead relatives and make them live again through an echo, which is sort of a simulated speech. I've made a couple of videos on how this references Korvac's lore, so if you'd like to know more information, have a look at them. Multiverse is a website to look into breaking the laws of physics. Not much is actually known apart from what they're trying to do is access new forms of space using many different methods of science. Myriad is a website for satellite drones to hold an incredibly large amount of data, 1 petabyte to be exact, which is 1,000 terabytes. Now it's worth noting that it seems as if Myriad is the creator of the Sentinels due to how they're described in Myriad and in the game's lore, but this isn't confirmed and I haven't made a video about this, and I probably should. We have 2 other websites which are still awaiting activation, which is Superlumina-6C and Atlas-65. So now you know pretty much everything, and I'm sure what you want to know is how do you get your hands on 80 No Man's Sky keys? Well, unless you signed up to the mailing list, you probably can't do this, and we don't have confirmation if they're sending out any more, but I'm now going to tell you how to sign up to the mailing list. So basically, if you filled out all of the passwords, all of the triangles and everything on the Waking Titan website, you can click on the most recent triangle, which is the 5th one, and it'll ask you to wait until July the 1st and enter your email. If you enter your email into there and then confirm it, it might be in your spam, it might be in your main inbox, I'm not 100% sure, you'll literally just be put onto the mailing list. So if there is any more giveaways of keys, you now have a chance to be entered. So if you want to know anywhere else you can get information on this, apart from the Game Detective wiki and the Reddit page, which are going to be in the description, you can also join the Discord. I'm going to put 2 links to the Discord. Discord is where pretty much everything gets sold, apart from some other things which are sort of out of Discord, but mostly everything is solved on there. There's all the new information, everything is solved pretty much straight away. So if you want to get in for a chat, if you want to get in for information, or you just have no idea what you want to do, just get in there and have a short chat to us. It's worth noting that there's 2. You can either follow the No Man's Sky or the Game Detective Discord, but please join both. If you join a No Man's Sky Discord, just give me a shout and I'll help you get started. You can also use the forums.etarg, which as said earlier is basically the hub of everything in Waking Titan. So I hope you enjoyed. This took absolutely ages to make and write up, so please leave a like and subscribe. I'll be active and hopefully doing some live streams maybe sometime soon. I hope I've explained well enough for all you newbies out there, and if you're veterans on it, I hope I've kind of put everything into place. I hope you're all caught up. Thank you for watching, and